such a double standard with friends with benefits, because I feel like if you're the girl, you're not allowed to catch feelings, but if you're the guy, then it's totally fine. Like, a guy catching feelings for a girl is like, whatever, why won't you just date him? But a girl catching feelings for a guy is like, you knew that it was friends with benefits. Get serious. If a girl has a roster, then she's a whore. Like, she's going around, she's sleeping with whoever, she's talking to whoever, whatever you want to say. But people will come out and say, oh, this girl's a whore. But if a guy has a roster, even if he's been kind of serious with the friends with benefits, people don't say that, like, oh, he's a whore, oh, he's a player, oh, he's a fuckboy. Instead, they say he got bitches.
Okay, fine, I'm cool, I'm fine.
Why are we only blaming women for home wrecking? Like, when is the last time that you heard that a man was a home wrecker? Because I can't name it. Like, maybe a celebrity, maybe. But I can't think of men being called home wreckers. That's, like, nobody says that about them. And maybe I'm reading too much into it, but it kind of feels like when a man cheats, it's blamed on the home wrecker, the woman.
What?
But when a woman cheats, she's a whore. Like, and I just think that that's so bizarre.
My guess is you ladies out there have had a lot of these things happen and you're like, why me? Why does it never work out? My guess, and this is a very educated guess based on my experience and my experience as a dating coach working with a lot of clients, and that is that
Shut up!
Gentlemen, welcome back to the channel. If you're in here to find some stupidity, you're in the right place, as we have this woman extremely confused about why situationships don't work. So guys, let's get started. Fasten your seat belts, find a trench to hide in, put on your helmets, because we're gonna get bombarded by a huge amount of idiocracy. And guys, just before we continue, at the end of the video I will talk about the 10K special in which you can be part of. So if you're interested in that, stick till the end and you're gonna find the notice there. Now let's get started.
I think we should talk about friends with benefits. This is not a good look. Hold on. As I was saying before I was so rudely interrupted, I think that we should talk about friends with benefits more, because why don't we ever have a conversation on this? I feel like there is such a double standard with friends with benefits, because I feel like if you're the girl, you're not allowed to catch feelings, but if you're the guy, then it's totally fine. Like, a guy catching feelings for a girl is like, whatever, why won't you just date him? But a girl catching feelings for a guy is like, you knew that it was friends with benefits. Get serious. I'm currently not involved with anyone, thank God. So I feel like it's okay if I talk about this right now because nobody else is involved. But I feel like beyond just the catching feelings things, there's also this double standard about, like, committedness, even though you're in a friends with benefits kind of situation.
Yeah, so before we continue with the TikTok, guys, we have this woman that in the 2 days in which she is not a part of a situationship, she decided to make a TikTok, and we just have all the red flags in the right places. We have the tattoos in the arm, in the shoulders. We have she's been part of situationships and she's talking about them online. She has a TikTok. Just all the red flags are there. So now let's continue on. Let's find out why she's the victim of her own decisions somehow.
So, like, everybody should be open to do whatever they want, right? Like, you would think. And I feel like what you usually end up seeing is, like, either the girl is super committed to the guy and the guy is messing around with a bunch of other people, or, and I'm just talking about heteronormative couples, just to be clear. But what else I see is that, like, if a girl has a roster, then she's a whore. Like, she's going around, she's sleeping with whoever, she's talking to whoever, whatever you want to say. But people will come out and say, oh, this girl's a whore. But if a guy has a roster, even if he's been kind of serious with the friends with benefits, people don't say that, like, oh, he's a whore, oh, he's a player, oh, he's a fuckboy. Instead, they say he got bitches. Like, oh, you got bitches.
Yeah, so it's the same old argument. You've heard it 1,000 times. First off, yes, they do tell him that he's an F-boy all the time, right? But second, right, the reason why it's still, morally bad. It's still something that is not accepted. And a woman with self-respect, you know, I've never seen a traditional woman desiring to be with a Chad, to be with a bad boy, saying, you know what, I'm a traditional woman, and instead of getting me a traditional man, I think I'm gonna go for the bad boy who's slept with 300 women and has never, you know, been in a committed relationship. You don't hear that. So it's only the stupid women who are addicted to anxiety that go for these men. So, you know, there's that. But then, you know, the reason why people don't shame men in the same way that shame women is because only a small subtract of men can achieve that. Because for a man, in order to sleep around with all the women, you have to actually do some things, a lot of things in fact. You have to be, in most of the cases, financially successful. You have to have a good body, and not a good body in terms of genes. No, you have to be there every day at the gym, working hard, and on top of that have the genes, right? Because not every guy who goes to the gym makes it. You have to do all those things. You have to have game, confidence, you know, all those things. For a woman, literally any woman can have a high body count, right? It's just about spreading your legs. If you can do that movement, you can be a 304 that's for the streets. You didn't do anything to achieve that. You know, you could be the lowest scum on earth and still have a high body count as a woman. You can be a psychopath. You can be a lot of things, right? There's no merit, there's no credit, there's no nothing. I'm not saying that, you know, men who do this behavior are, you know, good people, or that it's somehow morally correct because you've worked for it. No, I'm just saying that at least they have something going on, while women, they have nothing going on. Every woman can be a 304. And you know what happens with things that everyone can achieve? Well, they don't have value, right? If everyone can achieve something, then you don't deserve any credit for it.
I just feel like that's not fair. And I'm not saying that, like, guys shouldn't have a roster or girls shouldn't have a roster, but it's friends with benefits. Like, that's what you signed up for. And if you catch feelings, that's not on the other person, the guy or girl, either way. This also brings up something kind of controversial, but I'm gonna say it anyway. Why are we only blaming women for home wrecking? Like, when is the last time that you heard that a man was a home wrecker? Because I can't name it. Like, maybe a celebrity, maybe. But I can't think of men being called home wreckers. That's, like, nobody says that about them. And maybe I'm reading too much.
Yeah, you know why? Because the type of man who could get to be a home wrecker doesn't commit. Right? The boys who are out there having fun, and they will cheat, absolutely, and they will be a home wrecker. They're not looking for commitment. They're just out there having fun, right? Meanwhile, women, they are having fun. At the same time, they want a serious committed relationship just to get the benefits out of it, and then they break it without even thinking about it for one day, right? Because then again, women have all these privileges and all these packages of goods that the government grants them for breaking off this deal, this pact, you know, the marriage. Men don't get that. A man has no winning in stopping to being with the 304s, getting into a committed relationship, and then breaking it. He doesn't win anything. In fact, he loses. He loses a lot of stuff. This is why men don't do it. Also, because I think that we are more moral and we are less opportunistic overall, but that's not a topic. Men just don't get any privilege, right, from breaking a marriage. Women do, and this is why a lot of women, they are absolutely for the streets, but they find a man to stick around for 1 or 2 years, and then they break off that, right, and just get a whole bunch of money and a whole bunch of assets. And this is the problem with the law. It's been proven time and time again. If you don't punish a certain behavior, people are going to use that for their own benefit. All right, if you tell people, hey, I can grant you this whole package of goods for you doing something, and there's absolutely no repercussion, well, people are going to do it, right? There's absolutely no repercussion. No fault divorce is a thing. It doesn't matter if as a woman you cheat, you beat your husband, you just walk away, because you can literally go to court and say, well, I just wanted to walk away, and they're still going to give you the packages, right, of benefits. So yeah, that's why women are called home wreckers, because there are a lot of women who wreck the home just to get benefits. Men don't, in the first place, because there are no benefits to be obtained by men.
Into it, but it kind of feels like when a man cheats, it's blamed on the home wrecker, the woman. But when a woman cheats, she's a whore. Like, and I just think that that's so bizarre. And I'm not saying that like cheating is good. I'm not saying that one like gender deserves to cheat over the other, but all I'm saying is let's be even. Like, let's call a spade a spade. I feel like this type of thinking indicates that the weight of a relationship always falls on a woman, no matter if she's in it, and that just like doesn't seem right to me. And I just feel like the overall narrative of all of these things is that like women are at fault and women can't be promiscuous. But if they aren't promiscuous, then they're prude. And then you take that same standard and you can say, like, sure, men are called fuckboys sometimes, usually kind of as a compliment, but that's besides the point. If you have a man that's prude, I personally have never heard a man actually been called prude. They're called, like, a nice boy or, like, a keeper or...
It's literally the opposite. Like, I don't know how you can be so wrong and not even notice. It's absolutely the opposite. I've never heard, nor will I ever hear, a person calling a woman who doesn't sleep around and mess with everyone prude. No, they call her innocent, and a lot of men, the vast majority of men, are interested in those sort of women. But here's the thing, this is why women, brides, wear white, because it represents innocence. Men, throughout history, since the dawn of time, have liked women who are theirs. A woman for one man, not a woman for the whole community. Men do not call them prude. In fact, there's an active search for them. Like, they are like diamonds in today's society. A woman who is not a town bicycle, right? For men, it's the opposite. How many times, gentlemen, have you heard, especially women, making fun of a guy because he's a nerd, or because, haha, he's still a virgin, you know? He's not been able to pull any single woman. And this is also explained by the fact that when a man, this is what happens with chads, when women see that men are successful with women, they feel more attracted to them because they see that, hey, other women are showing interest in this man, so he must be valuable. It's the same with being in a relationship. Have you had that where you are single and no woman gives you a crap ounce of attention, yet the moment you step into a relationship, suddenly all these women just pop out of the woodworks and they're interested in you? Again, this is because when women see that other women like a man, they find him more valuable. And yes, they absolutely make fun of men who decide to be single or who just are not able to pull someone. Yeah, one of the biggest insults or the mockeries towards men who have no experience is exactly that. Oh, you are a loser because you've never been able to pull no 304s, right? It's the exact opposite of what this woman is stating.
Something about like, oh, he's such a catch. But women, it's like, oh, she has no experience. Unless she's a virgin. Because then if she's a virgin, it's okay. But only because, like, you get to take her virginity. Are you getting what I'm saying? I feel like every single institution, no matter if it's friends with benefits, if it's a relationship, if it's being prude versus being promiscuous, like, every single one are programmed in a way to make women fail. And I'm not laughing because it's funny. I'm laughing because it's comical when you put it side by side and look at it like that, how vast of a difference there is and what a double standard it is. I'm not
Yeah, guys, so in all the news, in all the worlds, just society, men, the universe, God, the patriarchy, just everything is stacked up against women. Men are allowed to fly, doing the same things that women are being shamed for, you know, and we are the victims and everything is against us. Everything is against us. We are the biggest victims in the entire world. And please allow me to be promiscuous without shaming me. No. Women who are promiscuous are just disgusting to men, right? And one of the most, important things nowadays for men is to find a woman who you can go on a walk through the park and she doesn't know every second guy, right? And we cannot find it. Right? Men are actively searching for this and they cannot find it. They have to go to other countries to find a woman at age 20 with a body count lower than 10. So it is absolutely promiscuous. It is also promiscuous for men, and promiscuity doesn't have a gender, right? It's just something immoral. Nobody said that promiscuity goes only for women. No. But for women, it's different because you, by being a woman, just by the genitals you have between your legs, you already have an open door, right, that you can always go to. You always have the option to be a 3 or 4. This is why you have to be more accountable, because yeah, most of the men, even if they wanted to, they couldn't be promiscuous. While for women, it's always an open door. So everybody is watching you to see what kind of person are you, and if you're wife material, and if you are dating material.
Trying to come off uptight. I'm not even trying to come off like men shouldn't have a roster. All I'm saying is that women deserve to have bitches and not be shamed for it. That's all I'm saying. And maybe bitches isn't the right word, but in my book, men count as bitches. My hoes, my bitches, same thing.
Guys, I don't think that nobody's shaming them, right? I don't think that they're walking on the streets and people are laughing at them, you know, pointing a finger, haha, you are a 304. I wouldn't call it that. It's literally the consequences of your actions. Men see you're promiscuous and they think, this woman will not make for a good wife and I'm not gonna spend my time with her. That is not shaming, but this woman doesn't like the consequences, guys, because she wants to have her cake and eat it too. She wants everything. She wants to be promiscuous when she has the open door, and then when she gets to the magical age of 30 and nobody pays any attention to her because there are younger women out there, then she will want a serious relationship and she wants none of the consequences. She wants men to take her in with all of her promiscuity, with all of her high likelihood of cheating, with all of her pair bonding ability lost, and to just say, you know what, I'm going to wife you up either way. I'm going to put a ring on that finger and I'm going to provide for you. And I'm going to treat you like a special snowflake even though you're a common 304.
I honestly think, like, when you're single, everybody deserves to have whatever roster they want in whatever capacity that means. Like, if you don't want to talk to a lot of people, don't. But if you do, like, you should be able to do that. And women should be able to have friends with benefits without feeling bad if they don't catch feelings. Like, you're not entitled to someone being in a relationship with you no matter what gender you are. So this goes for girls too. Like, if he don't like you, he don't like you. And that's fair, because if you don't like him, then you don't like him. Anyway.
Okay, then apply that to your own life and stop chasing Chad.
Anyways, stay toxic, hotties. Or at least until you find the one.
If you're a person in a situationship or friends with benefit arrangement, if you're going to somebody and you are crying about the situation that you're in, I question your delusion. Because there's absolutely no way that you can possibly believe that a situation that has blurred lines is going to provide you with certainty, clarity, security, or be built off trust. When the situation is created based off of chemistry and not true compatibility. Don't even get into the conversation of boundaries. Boundaries need defined lines. Blur lines don't provide that. Those situations don't provide that. The only type of boundaries you typically would have in those situations are loose or porous boundaries. All they have to do is send you some reaffirming text, some nasty stuff, give you a compliment, a little appreciation, sprinkle a little bit of making you feel important on there. What do you think starts to happen when you have a liking for somebody and you spend time with them, you're having intercourse with them, you're having conversations, intellectual, emotional, spiritual conversations? What do you think is going to happen? Sorry, y'all, but this really tickles me.
So this is what a reasonable woman sounds like, all right? For anyone wondering, anyone who's been watching my channel for too long and thinking, are there any reasonable women left? Yeah, guys, this is what one sounds like. Absolutely. This woman just spitting facts. And I don't think that this woman looked into a crystal ball. I don't think that this woman, I don't know, God sent an angel to inform her about this. No, this is common sense, gentlemen. Something that is lost in today's society. This is literally common, you know, this is the basics. This is the pillar, the core pillar of common sense. Realizing that you cannot have both situationships and a good, serious relationship, right? All these women, guys, that feel so confused, they are just pretending. They absolutely understand the stakes. They just decide to go for the promiscuity, right? Because, you know, pair bonding is something really important, and pair bonding is created when you spend time with a person, when you go through problems with him, when you laugh with him, when you sleep with him, you cuddle with him. And all these women going through situationships, guys, they go on dates, they eat together, they sleep together, they cuddle together, they're getting clapped, they're doing, you know, gifts from time to time. They're doing all of those things that are, you know, traditionally done by people who are more than friends, and they expect to not catch feelings. they expect to not lose pair bonding ability, and it just can't happen, right? So every situationship, even though it's not a relationship, it still gets treated as such when you think about all the people you've been with, because you've done things that are more than for friends with people who didn't commit in the end, with people who are not yours. You're giving part of yourself to others, and a man with self-respect will never want to be with a woman that is not hers, but it's just his turn. They will never want to be with a woman who has shared herself with the whole community.
But you can't say we're friends with benefits and then say I strictly want to just have intercourse. But you're literally creating this blurred line between a friendship and the benefits of a relationship. They still get the relational aspects of you. My Lord Jesus, do y'all hear that? And for those of you who have those arrangements, whenever things go sour or whenever you start to develop feelings or they start to develop feelings, y'all be the main ones hitting up people's lines talking about, I don't understand where things turn. Now I'm thinking something's going on up here, because there's no way you didn't believe or you didn't think that things were going to turn. That's what I mean. See, stop hitting up people's lines if you don't want direction or correction. If you just want sympathy and attention, you need to go do that somewhere else. Go talk to that person you have that arrangement with, because there's no... Never mind. Y'all have a good day.
This woman, guys, I can just leave her to speak for me. To do my content. But yeah, it's exactly that, guys. Don't get fooled. All these women, they're not confused, they're not, I mean, well, you know, they are in some aspect, but not enough to be actually excused because, you see, they didn't know. No, guys, they absolutely know what's going on, and they just prefer the easy path because they are weak, you know, they're pathetic, and they cannot strike for something better.
This is for those of you who have situationships that never seem to turn into a relationship. My guess is you ladies out there have had a lot of these things happen and you're like, why me? Why does it never work out? My guess, and this is a very educated guess based on my experience and my experience as a dating coach working with a lot of clients, and that,
you know, you can't see me, but I've already rolled my eyes like 3 times seeing this woman. She's been on the channel multiple times. She's a dating coach, guys, and the caption here reads "Situationship Queens" with a Z, just so cringe. Let me say it right, being YouTube friendly, she's a little not intelligent, right? She's not really sharp, but let's hear what she has to say.
that is that you put in more energy and effort and invest your time into him than he does for you. Because a man, typically, I've never seen it otherwise in my experience, a man likes to be in his masculine energy. Masculine energy when it comes to dating is pursuing, it's planning, it's texting you first, it's calling you, it's seeing what you have going on this weekend, it's asking how your day was. It's like they are doing that. They're doing all the initiating.
Yeah, you know what else is masculine energy? Not doing all of those things for a woman that is not yours. All right? It's the most masculine energy is to want to have something that is yours, especially in relationships. You know, you don't want a woman that's been with everyone else. You know, psychologically in terms of STDs, biologically in terms of, you know, men in the past, they didn't want to provide for children that are not their own. Morally speaking, if you believe in some deity, right, just from every aspect of human nature, it's not human, but then again, even more, it's not masculine to want to provide for a woman that is not yours. So why don't you add that to the list? You go out here pretending that a man will do that for a situationship. Never, guys, never.
They're asking you to be exclusive. They're asking you, you know, if you're ready to delete your dating apps. They're asking you if you want to move in, if you want to be boyfriend and girlfriend and all that shit. When you are taking over that job for him, he naturally goes into his feminine. What is feminine like? It's all about receiving. It's all about just honestly kind of chilling. But if you're doing that, if you are taking over his role, he's gonna be like, well, what's my job here? Men are very unattracted to that energy, and then they go and leave and they find somebody else that is in a typically a healthier dating mindset space, a woman who's ready to receive rather than being the one to put in all the effort. It's like a yin yang, masculine, feminine energy. If you're in your masculine,
Yeah. The mental gymnastics are strong with this one. She's just trying to explain why that Chad, who is leagues above you, doesn't want to commit. And the answer is not because you're taking away his masculine energy. No, it's because he didn't care in the first place ever at all, not in the slightest. That is the answer. He has way better options than you. He never intended to commit. He never would. Even if you rank up like 2 ranks, he's still not gonna care about you in the slightest because of your past, right? It's like, madam, we're not talking about the same thing. These chads were never interested in you and never will, no matter how feminine you are or you're not. The fact that you are a situationship already shows at what stage of femininity you are at, which is 0. You have 0 feminine energy when you're an object, and they see you as an S3X doll and nothing more.
He falls into his feminine. Men don't typically like that. They end up leaving and they go find somebody else. So what you need to do is practice getting into your feminine, which is very hard, I know, but it is fucking game changing. Ask any of my clients, and maybe some of them will comment here. To ask my younger self, the second I learned about switching over to feminine energy, men started treating me like a fucking queen. I dated the most amazing guys, and now I'm in a relationship with the most amazing man in the world who's so masculine, takes such good care of me. He's so good. He's like literally meant to be a husband, and I give a lot of credit because I learned how to be in my feminine. He literally in the beginning of our relationship said, I like to give, all I ask is that you receive. And I was like, oh my God, that's literally all I've been teaching. And it's true. Men love this shit. Any guy who says they don't, they are a boy, they are not a man. And I have yet to work with any women who are into that sort of thing. So practice being in your feminine. Practice stop putting in all the work. Let him pursue, let him lead. And if he doesn't, let him go. Another man will take his place and do 1,000,000 times more than what this guy's.
Yeah, shut up already. So you see, guys, this is how these dating coaches lie to women, by just creating a delusion, by essentially telling a lie. If you do this and you fall into your femininity, you're gonna succeed, which is a fallacy. It's not true, because by the mere fact that you are part of situationships, you're already not what men are looking for, right? This doesn't apply to everyone, right? So again, if you're you try to be more feminine, which these women probably don't understand nothing about femininity. Even if you try, you've already been around the block, you've already slept with a lot of people, you're part of a situationship, and you expect Chad to give a flying crap about the fact that you're acting a little less masculine than usual. Nobody cares, madam. Nobody gives a crap. You know, if you were a true feminine woman, you wouldn't have had this stage of situationships, and you wouldn't be the town bicycle. And then men are going to value it, but it comes with certain rules. First, you have to do a few things before you quote-unquote change from being an extremely undateable person to being a little more feminine a couple of days. But gentlemen, before we close off the video, for the special 10k subscribers, I tried different things. I tried setting up interviews with people I thought you might find interesting. I tried doing a live video with the Fiend Gang members. Nothing worked in the end, so I thought, you know what, you can send me, guys, anything you want, questions, short TikToks, stories about your life, at this Gmail that shows on the screen, and I will do a video answering to some things. So again, this is at hidanpoth@gmail.com. Send anything you want there. Just some basic rules. First off, don't ask me personal things, because I plan to do that at a later point, a Q&A video. You can ask me about the channel if you want, but nothing personal, guys. Second, try for it to not be too long, because I will have to fit quite a few on these videos. So don't make it like a 5-minute read or a 5-minute video, because I won't cover it. And lastly, it has to be related to the topic of the channel, right? So those are the three things. Again, note that I will include only a certain amount of them, because I can't make a video of 2 hours, but regardless of that, I will answer to all of them. So yeah, guys, again, send it whatever you want to hidanpoth@gmail.com, and in 4 or 5 days I'll do a video about it. So do it now, guys. There won't be any further notice. Here is the Gmail on screen. Thank you, guys, for making this possible, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one.